These two squares are the same exact color. This is an example of simultaneous contrast, and so our brain perceives the top one to be darker than the bottom. This is due to that white line in the middle, and so it's throwing our retinas off. If you really want to see it, you could try squinting or maybe changing your angle a bit. Still don't believe me? Try putting your finger over the middle and you'll quickly see that they're the same exact color. Pretty cool, right? Many people consider this to be the greatest optical illusion of all time, although it's not really an illusion because you could prove it with geometry. Anyways, it's called the Trammel of Archimedes, which is essentially a mathematical mechanism that forms an ellipses or a circle. So as you can see, each individual dot is moving linearly on its own path, but as you continue to add more and more, it creates the illusion or the reality that it's moving in a circle. And if you don't believe me, you could check each path individually and you'll quickly see that I'm not lying. Now that it's almost filled up, it is true that lines can become circles. Pretty cool, right? This test will see if you're colorblind. So for the next 8 images, all you want to do is say the number that you see within the circle. So here we go. And also, the quicker it takes you to get it, the better you are at differentiating between these colors. You get all 8, then you have perfect vision. If not, might want to see a doctor. Okay. Some of these were tough for sure. Like this one, I think I didn't get first try actually. All right. And last one. Okay, how'd you do? Let's see how good your eyesight is. So who do you see when you first look at this image? If you have good eyes, you'll say Albert Einstein, and if you have bad eyes, you'll say Marilyn Monroe. But in reality, it's actually a hybrid image that combines high and low spatial frequency images to create this illusion result. But let's put it to a test. So from this distance, everybody should be seeing Marilyn Monroe. But as it gets closer, there will be an inflection point in which you begin to see Albert Einstein. And the further away you're able to recognize Albert Einstein's features, the better your eyesight is. So yeah, have fun with this and enjoy. This test will show where your blind spots are. So humans don't really have a true 180-degree field of vision. We actually have some blind spots that our mind makes up for. And to prove this and figure out where your blind spots are, you could quickly take this test. Alright, so it works best on mobile, but I'm sure any device would work. You want to cover your right eye with your right hand, and then with your left eye, you want to look at that plus sign and really focus, and then bring the device in and out until you could no longer see the dot on the left. There should be a point around like 6 inches from your eye in which it totally disappears. After doing that, if you want to check it for the other eye, just put your left hand over your left eye, and then use your right eye to look at that circle and do the same thing. Alright, let me know if it works. Many people consider this to be the greatest optical illusion in the world. It's called Schroeder's staircase, and I think it actually won an award a couple of years ago. But anyways, it looks like a descending staircase from left to right, but if you flip your device over and then you blink, all of a sudden it's going to look just like it did originally. And what's even crazier is that if you look at it from a ton of different angles, you could probably unlock some more things too. Enjoy. None of the faces in this video are altered, but if you look at that cross in the middle, at some point the faces will become deformed in your peripheral. And this is because of the flashed face distortion effect. So basically our brain is making up for the lack of data by filling in certain facial features, and it ends up making things look a bit weird. So if you just keep staring and try and recognize the faces in your peripheral, you'll start to see that it gets a bit crazy. And the longer that you watch, the crazier it gets. So yeah, have fun with it and enjoy. Let's see how predictable you are. So I'm going to ask you a few easy questions meant to condition your brain, and at the very end you have to answer the ultimate question as quickly as possible. Alright, here we go. Not too bad, right? Some pretty easy math questions. This one requires some thinking, so sorry about that. Alright, 2 more. And last one, 8 plus 8. So now quickly think of a vegetable. Alright, well at least you guys didn't think of carrot, right? I'm about to show you 5 examples of the Mandela effect, and if you get them all right, then you have a really good memory. Otherwise, yeah. Alright, so first up we have Curious George. Does he have a tail or does he not have a tail? So he actually doesn't have a tail, so you may have misremembered that. Next up we have Kit Kat. Is there a hyphen or not a hyphen in between kit and cat? So there's not a hyphen. Next up we have the Monopoly Man. Does he have a monocle or does he not have a monocle? He actually doesn't have a monocle. Okay, then next up we have Pikachu. Does Pikachu have a black stripe on his tail? Yes or no? He does not have a black stripe on his tail. And then last but not least, you guys remember these robber emojis, right? Except they never actually existed. This is a test to see how fast your brain is. So I'm about to show you 4 words on screen, and you have to let me know as quickly as possible what the color of the text is. So ignore the word completely. So in this example, the text would be purple. All right, here we go. There's going to be 3 levels that get progressively harder. Okay, hopefully level 1 was pretty easy. All right, and then the final level. Okay, how'd you do? The video I'm about to play for you has no sound, but about 10% of you will still hear something, and this can be due to low-level synesthesia. So basically the auditory cortex in your brain is activated whenever you have visual stimuli. So here, you can test it out. I promise there's no sound playing, so let me know if it worked for you. What do you see when you first look at this image? Some people may say a red dot, some people may say the flag of Japan, but in reality, there's actually an image embedded within the red circle that only 10% of you can see. So the way that you could see it is by relaxing your eyes a little bit, or you could try playing around with the brightness on your device. Now I won't spoil what it is, but if you look closely, you should be able to see it, so let me know if it works. This is called Ninio's extinction illusion. So at first glance, it looks like a network of overlapping gray lines in various directions, but if you look a bit closer, there's actually 12 black dots spread across the image at different intersections. What's crazy is that your brain will only allow you to see 2 black dots at once, meaning your peripheral will block out any black dot that's not in the direct vicinity that you're looking at. And if you want to test this out, you could shift your eyes very quickly, try to catch things off guard, or maybe you want to move the device further away to increase your field of vision, but unfortunately, nothing's going to change. This is an optical illusion in which half of you guys are going to see the woman spinning clockwise and the other half of you guys are going to see her spinning counterclockwise. But I'm not so focused on which direction you see her spinning in, I'm more focused on whether or not you can see her spinning in both directions. And if you can do that, I mean the faster you do it, the more dynamic and adaptive your brain is. So if you can get it by the end of this video, then I think you have a pretty sharp brain. Otherwise, but yeah, don't feel too bad. It took me like 2 minutes to get this. It's pretty frustrating, to be honest. There is a trick, but I don't want to spoil the experience for you. Yeah, I mean, it's super trippy. It's actually crazy that humans are fascinated with this stuff, because at the end of the day, it's just like a silhouette spinning. You're about to see a color that doesn't actually exist. It's called Stygian blue, and the way to access it is by looking at this X for the next 15 seconds or so. Since it doesn't appear in our ordinary visual functioning, the way to access it is by fatiguing our cone cells in our eyes. So that entails us looking at this bright yellow neon light. So just stare at the X, and the screen is going to turn black pretty soon. But just keep looking right at that X. Okay, keep going, and in the next 3 seconds or so, it's going to turn white, and you should be able to see it. It will be like a neon blue color. Alright, let me know if you guys see it. This is a test to see how well you can spot a liar. So I'm about to show you 2 people speaking, and you have to let me know which one is lying. And if you get it right, I'd love to know how you got there. Okay, here we go, the first one.
When I was in high school, I was the mascot, and this was actually a huge accomplishment because we had to write an essay to become the mascot. So I beat out a lot of competition to do that.
Now the second one.
Last Valentine's Day, my boyfriend took me on a whale watching trip. It was 3 hours, and I puked the entire 3 hours.
All right, place your guess.
I was not telling
How'd
the
you guys
truth.
do? Your goal is to not lose track of the chocolate. So for the next 20 seconds, this chocolate's going to be put under a cup and mixed up into a randomized sequence, and you just want to follow it as closely as you can. This is easy. You guys could do this. Make sure you don't lose it. I know it can get a bit confusing with all the hands and stuff moving around. All right. You guys still have it? Okay, looking good. Almost there. All right, and here's the reveal. Let's see if you guys got it. So not that one. Not that one. Cool, so congratulations if you guys got it, but your brain probably missed the other 3 things that were happening in this video. All right, so I wanted to show you guys this because I thought it was pretty cool. At first glance, it looks like a ring of purple circles disappearing consecutively. Here, I'll pause it a few times just to prove that's what's happening. Okay, cool. But now stare at the black dot in the center, and now all of a sudden those disappearing purple circles become green. Pretty cool. Here's a fun test to see if you're easily bored. So this DVD logo is going to hit the corner at some point in this video, and what you have to do is estimate how long it took from the beginning of this video to the point when it actually hits the corner. But the one rule is you can't actually count. So you just have to sort of feel time out. I know it's a bit weird, but the logic behind this is that if you say a time that's longer than the time that has actually elapsed, you think that time stretches out and you're probably prone to boredness, and vice versa. So let's just wait and see. I have no idea when it's even gonna hit, so we're in this together. Feel free to look around my room, whatever. I have nothing more planned for you. You could follow, subscribe, depending on which platform you're on. Let's just wait it out though, hopefully soon. Okay, cool. So place your bet. How long do you think that took? And there's the answer. So how'd you guys do? Here's an illusion that proves that you could move things with your mind. Well, not really, but you could manipulate the position of things based on how you perceive them. So in this example of SpongeBob and Patrick, you're going to want to look at the image and then slowly bring the device closer to your nose. There should come a point where they begin to merge and then eventually start touching. And you could get a bit weird and start to have them overlap and create like some singular sea creature. And this should work on everybody, but let me know if it didn't. If you could read the word inscribed within this image, it means you have a color vision field that could differentiate between different shades of light blue. But let's see how you fare with other colors. So this is for green yellow. This one's kind of tough. Now we have purple pink. Pretty easy. Reds. I could still barely see this one. Okay, dark blue. One of the easier ones, I think. Now we have purple. Not too bad. And then last but not least, orange, which I still can't see, and I've been looking at this for 10 minutes, so hopefully you guys can read it. This will show you if you're right or left brain dominant. So the right side of the brain is associated with creativity and emotion, whereas the left side of the brain is a bit more logical and analytical. So here's 3 unique tests, and just keep track of what you do for each of them. So first up, you want to put one hand on top of the other, just like this. If it's a bit inconvenient because you're on your phone, you could do it with your feet. So now note which thumb or foot is on top. So if it's the right thumb or foot on top, that's the left brain actually doing that, because the left side of the brain controls the right motor function and vice versa. All right, so next up, draw a circle. You don't need like a pen or paper, you could do it with your finger. But note which way you draw the circle. So if you do it clockwise, that's your right brain. If you do it counterclockwise, that's your left brain. So last up, hold something in front of you. It could be your phone, it could even be a finger, just look at it. And now focus a bit more closely by closing one eye. And so whatever eye you close, the opposite brain is what's responsible for doing that. How'd you do? Take a look at the 2 faces on the screen and decide which one looks happier. Now whichever one you choose can tell a lot about your personality. So 80% of you will choose the one on the right, which means you're probably right brain dominant and a bit more creative and emotional. If you choose the one on the left, then you're in the minority, but you're probably left brain dominant, so you're a bit more analytical and logical. There's probably a multitude of other reasons, so I'd love to hear your rationale on which one you chose. Let's see how well you guys can spot a fake smile. So I'm about to show you 3 people, and you have to differentiate between the real smile and the AI-generated one. So I'm pretty sure the trick is to look at the eyes. It's very subtle differences, but they're definitely there. Okay, next up. This one's probably the easiest. Also, I guess this is a sort of empathy test too. And then final one, here she is. This is probably the toughest. These kind of look identical. All right, cool. Well, how'd you guys do? I just found out that you could force yourself to be happy, and I just tried it and it worked, so I wanted to show it to you guys. Literally just start smiling and hold a smile for 20 seconds. Yeah, literally force a smile, show those teeth. It's gonna feel weird for sure, but just straight up smile. You could like distract yourself, go to the comments, whatever you have to do, but just keep smiling. You have 10 seconds. It's gonna work. It's crazy. It might be a little bit cringe, but at the end of the day, happiness is cool. So just keep going. Okay. How do you feel? I felt a lot better after it. I hope it worked on you guys. Here's a really easy sentence that 99% of you should be able to read. So if you said a bird in the bush, you would be absolutely incorrect because there's actually 2 thes in the sentence. But that's okay because our brain reads things probabilistically. It's the same reason you're able to read this sentence right here. So unconsciously, we try to minimize the number of saccades it takes to read something. So basically in this case, the first and the last letters are meaningful and everything else is just kind of filler. Pretty cool, right? This is called the dumb test. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions and all you have to do is answer them as quickly as possible. So you're gonna wanna start off by picking a color or shade that starts with the letter W. Got it? Okay, cool. Now here's a fabric. Say the name of it 5 times in a row. So silk, 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 silk. Awesome. What's the color of salt? White, right? Okay, so I just showed you a dog on screen. Hopefully you saw what color it was. If you said white, you're correct. Now here's a herd of cows, and of course, what do cows drink? Milk. Except they don't drink milk, they drink water. That'd be pretty weird if they drank milk. But you're not dumb because, I mean, technically calves drink their mother's milk, so. You're about to experience a negative after image effect, so stare at the black dot for the next 15 seconds and something pretty cool will happen. So essentially the colors are going to invert when you take your eyes off screen and start blinking, so just keep looking and I'll let you know when to stop. It's okay if you blink a couple times. So the two things to make note of are 1, what the colors change to, because they're going to invert, and then 2, how long it lasts for, because this effect could last upwards of like 2 minutes. So I apologize ahead of time for ruining your vision. Okay, cool. So take your eyes off the screen, start looking around and blinking, and let me know if it works. Let's see if you have a normal mind. So I'm going to give you a series of instructions and questions, and you just have to answer them as quickly as possible. So here we go. First up, think of a number between 1 and 10. Got it? All right, cool. So now double that number, add 8, divide that by 2, and now subtract your original number from that number. So whatever you're left with, now you want to take the corresponding letter in the alphabet. So if you're left with 1, for example, you're going to have A. If you have 2, you'll have B, and so on and so forth. So now choose a country that starts with that letter. Awesome. So now take the next letter in the alphabet. So if you had A originally, this would now be B. If you had C, it would be D. And now choose an animal that starts with that letter. Great. So now you're going to choose the color of that animal, because there could be some variation. Awesome, so all done. So if you chose a gray elephant from Denmark, you may have a very normal mind. If you could see the word inscribed within this image, it means you have base level night vision. But let's advance a bit further to see how well you can actually see in the dark. So it's going to get progressively more difficult. I think around level 4 is when I stop seeing things. Still good right now. All right. Yeah, so I straight up can't see anything here. But I could see level 6, so I could read this word. And then this final word, when making this, I still have no idea what this says, so if you have it, let me know. This color is impossible to see because it doesn't actually exist, although of course I'll show you how to see it. It's called self-luminous red and is considered to be one of the impossible colors. So to access it, you want to look at this X for the next 15 seconds. So by doing this, you're going to be depleting the cone cells in your eyes, which is basically going to remove you from your ordinary visual functioning. And then you'll essentially see the opposite of this color on the spectrum, which will be a sort of red magenta color. So just keep looking. It's okay if you blink a couple times. There's also a couple other colors like this, so maybe I'll make some follow-up videos. So 3, 2, 1, and you should be seeing an entirely new color now, so let me know if it works. This test will see how empathetic you are, so I'm about to show you 4 levels of yawning, and the earlier that you yawn, the more empathy you possess. Alright, so level 1, here's the word yawn. I don't expect too many people to yawn from this, but there it is. I'm sure somebody did. Alright, level 2, here's a few animals yawning. Alright, level 3, here's a couple humans yawning. Okay, and the final level, you can look at me, because I'm about to yawn. Alright, let me know at what point you yawned, or if not at all. This test will literally make your hands start moving, so in 2 seconds you're going to want to stare at the red dot, look at that for 20 seconds, just really zero in on it. I was a little skeptical at first, but then I tried it out myself and it worked, so I wanted to share it with you guys. But just watch those black and white diamonds just really engulf that red circle. Okay, you have about 10 more seconds. Don't be afraid, everything's gonna be okay. It is cool though. So in 5 seconds, you're gonna take your eyes away from the red dot and you're gonna stare at your hand in 3, 2, 1. Okay, take a look at your hand, and if it's moving, let me know. I'd love to know if it works, because it worked on me. This is an optical illusion in which some of you guys are gonna see the horse spinning clockwise, some will see it spinning counterclockwise, and the rest of you might not even see it spinning at all. So the way that you can sort of manipulate it is by looking at the ears. By doing this, you should at least unlock the 360-degree motion. Some other things to look for are maybe like the hips and the legs. I've heard that works as well. But yeah, it's definitely frustrating. It could take a while to see all the different ways. But yeah, let me know what you guys see, because I'm sure everybody has a different perspective on this. Let's see if you can overcome the Mandela effect. So I'm going to give you 6 examples of things that people misremember, and then you could see how many you guessed correctly. So we'll start off easy with Fruit Loops. Is it spelled fruit normally or fruit with 2 O's? This is going to be fruit with 2 O's. Sticking with the food theme, we'll go to double stuffed Oreos, probably my favorite snack. 2 F's or 1 F? That's going to be 1 F, then Skechers. Pretty straightforward. Is there a T or not a T? There is not a T in Skechers. And now we have Fruit of the Loom. Is there a cornucopia in the logo or no cornucopia? There's actually no cornucopia. And now for Star Wars fans, we have C-3PO. Does he have a silver leg or not? Is he gold all the way through? He actually does have a silver leg. And then everybody loves Cheez-Its, right? Except they're called Cheez-It. Let's see how strong your mind is. So this is called the Stroop test, and all you have to do is say the name of the color and not the actual word. So for example, this is red, this would be green, and this would be blue. All right, so there's gonna be 3 levels. Good luck. All right, level 2. And final level. All right, well, how'd you guys do? Everything around you is about to shrink, so all you have to do is stare at the center of this illusion for the next 20 seconds. It's pretty trippy, but trust me, it works. It's actually really fun to play around with once you see what it does. Yep, right at the center. Good job. It's okay if you blink once or twice. Almost there. If you have to pull your eyes off early, that's okay, but to get the full effect, you want to wait like 5 more seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Now look around or at anything and let me know if it works. The song you're about to hear has no lyrics, but you'll still hear them, I promise. It's just a piano track, so listen up and let me know if it works.